Hi guys, welcome back to my channel by Kris. So today I'm going to talk to you about how I stay inspired or how I get out of a creative rut. So a lot of times as creatives, sometimes you're creating, maybe it's a painting, or even if you're a photographer or a videographer or an author, if you're writing a book or something, and you just feel stuck. Like you just feel like you can't move forward. You feel like you can't think of the next idea or the next paint stroke that you're going to put down. And it happens to everybody who's creating something. Is normal, but I'm going to share with you ways that I just break out of that, because you can't always avoid that, for one thing. And then another thing that you can't do, you just can't stop creating, especially if you do this for a living, right? So I'm going to share with you about 3 ways that I get out of a creative rut, a creative block. So the first thing that I have to do is I have to get absolutely, positively, without a doubt, get away from the computer. So, and the phone. So to me, the computer and the phone just has so many distractions. So there's social media, there's your email, there's Pinterest that I'm super guilty of spending hours on. I just have to close all of that up and just set my brain free. A lot of times when I feel like I'm getting a creative block, is that it's related to me having just too much in my head, taking in too much information at one time. So the second thing that I like to do, and I got this from a book by an artist. Her name is Julia Cameron. The name of the book is called The Artist's Way. If you're an artist or any type of creator and you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. She gives some amazing pointers that has definitely changed and affected my creative career and benefited in amazing ways. But she talks about going for a walk. So when you go for a walk, it kind of re-energizes you, sort of recharges your battery. It gives you a chance to see just a different side of things, a different perspective. It puts you in a brand new scenery, even if it's just around your neighborhood. If you can't walk around your neighborhood, maybe find a park to walk in, or if that's impossible, just walk around your house. You can walk around the inside of your house, or you can walk around outside, and it just takes you away from what you're creating. It puts you in a whole new area to get inspiration, right? Especially if you're a nature lover. That is very key. Okay, so the third thing that I like to do is I like to listen to either podcast or either listen to music. So I like to imagine or think as if I'm creating my art in front of an audience. So if I'm creating my art as performing arts, and you can think about this even if you're a dancer or if you're a photographer, what type of music would be in the background? So if I'm in a museum, an art museum, and I have an audience, what type of music would complement my art, right? So I put on music that fits my aesthetic. So for me, my watercolor paintings, like I said, they're very fluid. They are very effortless and vibrant in color. So I like to listen to a lot of jazz music. I like to listen to house music. If you've been on my Periscopes, then you've probably heard Sade playing in the background or something like that. So I like to think about the type of music that would play along with me painting live. And that helps me that just kind of gets my blood flowing. It gets me excited, and it's like, okay, it allows me to loosen up a little bit. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about is, this is specifically for painters or artists. If you just get a pen and get a large sheet of paper and just draw big circles, draw big lines, big circles, big shapes, just kind of loosen up your arm, especially if you are an artist, or if you're on a typewriter or something where your hands are just being really, really stiff, or you're really focused in on something. You can actually develop carpal tunnel. I remember one time I developed a thing called tennis elbow, where your elbow and everything starts hurting and getting stiff. So just take something and just draw big. Draw big. Loosen up your arms. A teacher told me one time that drawing is like ice skating. So if you're ice skating and you're just flowing with it and you're kind of going with the flow, then you'll ice skate. But if you start ice skating and you start being kind of stiff, like I'm guilty of, I always fall when I ice skate. But if you're doing that, then you're probably gonna fall, right? So the same is true when creating. The looser you are, the better you are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Those are my tips for getting out of creative block or staying inspired. Definitely follow me on Instagram by Kris Keys, Twitter by Kris Keys, Facebook Fashion Illustrator Kris Keys, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in.